Hi, I am Wolf from Vladek Spaces, and today I'm going to talk about the band. We can say that whoever listens to us will find symphonic black metal with influences from Emperor, Dimmu Borgir. So the band has been active for a lot of time, but unfortunately, due to adverse circumstances and personal problems, there's been a time where the project was inactive and the band was unable to record our album. Vladek is a last name that means Sons of Black Tepes, and that's something we think it represents the band pretty well. About our time in quarantine, each member of the band is doing different things. For example, our guitar, Lord Sage, has started saving money to buy and support bands. Karnaki, for example, is still working and playing the drums as always. Other members, like I, are working in their own music and project, and we all miss a lot to rehearse, and we hope we can start playing some music together again. It is a very hard situation for Spain because Spanish society is very open and friendly, so we are used to gather with a lot of people, and now that we can, a lot of people is still doing a thought it is illegal and they're putting other people in risk, so it is quite of a hard situation. About From the Ashes and Darkness, well, the album was recorded and mixed and mastered in Spain in Black Stage Studios by Luis Baró, who's done an excellent job. In the beginning, we were very aware and decided to go and find the sound we wanted. The album is composed by 10 tracks, the instrumental and 9 songs, and where you find a lot of influences and details that we think give us a distinctive sound and makes us different from other bands. The lyrics are divided into blocks. The ones that are completely explicit and that tell stories by allegories and euphemisms. Between the explicits we can find Armageddon. This song talks about the apocalypse represented as an entity that walks throughout the earth, and he tells the story of how he exterminated humanity and how is the aftermath. From the most absolute darkness speak of a war of humanity against monotheistic religions. Hellfire is about the hypocrisy of the clergy, and Diabolical Absent speaks about someone who found the path to liberates our minds from the chains imposed by religion. Between the lyrics that carry out histories throughout allegories and euphemisms, one of the most interesting ones is The Departure of the Undefeated, that speaks about death, about the marrying Timothy Macbeth and the experience of war. This song has a peculiarity that there are verses from the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley, and this is because the last will of Macbeth was to recite this before receiving the lethal injection. The mix of these elements have made up the lyrics for the song. Puppets of God talked about the idea that God is a decadent entity, hedonistic and irresponsible, that sent Jesus Christ and the prophets to divide humanity, so he basically started a war upon brothers because of its avarice and boredom. Vampires of Pain talks about the tithes that the church imposed in the Middle Ages, and as with the idea of mortification, it gets hold up the people obedient in a slave regime. Metamorphosis of the Soul develops the idea that Ernst Bloch has about death and how human beings haven't experienced the meaning of life. If the soul is immortal, this reality is just a phase, so it is unnecessary to find or to liberty after death. Through the Spirit of the Mind tells the story about a man who thinks that he's doing murders through prophetic dreams and the conflict caused by not knowing if it's sleeping or if it's real. About the cover art, in the beginning we really wanted something similar to Dimmu Borgir's or Emperor's in the Nightside Eclipse covers. So Salva Rubio, the author of the book Extreme Metal 30 Years of Darkness, suggested us a list of international artists, where we found Pegaton Art Studio, who's the singer of Wormed. We think that Pegaton was the best artist to develop the idea and the artistic style we wanted and what we were looking for. In the first moment, we sent the songs and lyrics and we suggested him to make a cover with these elements. We didn't like the first idea at all, but the second idea was amazing. We really love it. We don't really have a contract with Rock CD Records. They just impressed our CD and distributed it in digital platforms. For us, it is important to sing with a label as long as they offer you opportunities that you can get by yourself. So today, the musicians are multitask people, and if we can work by ourselves, that's a better option. But when that option is impossible because it's a very big project and you don't have the ways to get there, if you could get a little help from a label or from, I don't know, from other bands, we think it is very important. To play in Spain, it's very easy. You can organize gigs by yourself as it is a small country, but for an European tour, you need professional people around with experience and credibility that you don't have by yourself. We had a hard time thinking about gigs because this is a really difficult situation, as we were planning some gigs to start presenting our first CD live, but then coronavirus came like a train and killed all of us. The band hasn't given any concert in a long time, and we were planning to give a memorable Reborn concert as we had a new lineup too. We hope the situation passes by soon so we can start bringing darkness to the stage, to all the stages as we can. This is a really difficult situation as we were planning some gigs to start presenting our first CD live, but then coronavirus came like a train and killed all of us. The band hasn't given any concert in a long time, and we were planning to give a memorable Reborn concert as we have a new lineup too, as you know. We hope the situation passes by soon so we can start bringing darkness to all the stages we can. I think that the execution in our lives has never been perfect at all. All the lives have got little mistakes. Once when the gigs started, the lights were off, the sound engineer didn't read their technical rider, and discovered we had a keyboardist an hour before the gig. Special mention to the first Dark Festival in Alicante, where the band played in 28th of August in the south of Spain. Playing at 30 degrees Celsius with corpse paint is not comfortable at all. Also, the old keyboardist started playing the keyboard in another tuning, and the band had to restart the song. Well, each member of the band has had some favorite albums. Lord Said, for example, says that Queen of Time is a masterpiece, which I think too. It is a real good album. Firepower by Judas Priest, In Flames, last album too, and Mgwa is the greatest extreme metal reference right now. Tribulation 2. Cool says Fortress Thames pour la Rebellion, as their sound and atmospheres are incredible. Vordox says it was I Love You at Your Darkest by Behemoth, as it was a great album and we think it had a great sound. Karnaki says Shaylee by Mirath, as it is an incredible album with an incredible atmosphere. Goods of a Dying Sun by Oada, Codex Omega by Exertic Flesh, and Liturgia by Batuska, obviously. Mine has been Up North by Borgnagar. It didn't impress me at first when I first heard it, but when I listened to it for the second and third time, it blew my mind. You can really feel the pure musicianship and feeling in each of their songs. Voices a Closing Song is one of the best things I ever heard since Loneliness by Wintersun. I have to mention Aether Realm's Redneck Vikings from Hell 2. It is a funny album to listen with some emotional and epic parts. And Saor's Forgotten Paths has been another album that made me change the way that I analyze and listen to music, as it has one of the best atmospheres I ever heard. Pure, amazing folk atmospheric black metal. And for the future, we would love to find a keyboard player, as we don't like using samples when rehearsing or live, and then we want to start the promotion of our album in live concerts and with other surprises that we'll unveil soon. We also have in mind doing a photo shoot with the whole band, as in the last photo shoot there were only 4 members. Thank you for interviewing us, and see you.